So what have been some of the challenges maybe that you've come up against in this role, and lessons learned? It can be personal or political.
I think one of the challenges is the, I'm going to say the apathy. No, because it's not apathy anymore. I think it's just straight disengagement because people are tired of the, it's kind of like, okay, he's done something else, kind of. So they turning off the TVs. They're not even focused. They don't want to get engaged in the campaigns. We're trying to get them to go knock doors and make phone calls and help us out because we've got to mobilize everybody. The weight of what this country is feeling, and we've been feeling it, we being our community. I mean, it isn't a new feeling for us at the end of the day. This is us, right? We know this, but now everybody else has been feeling that weight. And so for me, that has been a challenge to kind of give people hope again. And just say, but we did it before when we did it under Obama, right? You voted. You went and you did it, and it can happen. And so trying to keep them engaged and away from that sense of hopelessness, like there's nothing, it doesn't matter anyway.
And what are they saying is playing into that hopelessness feeling? Why are Black voters here disengaged?
I hear sometimes, especially at churches, like you see a candidate when they're running, but then you don't see them again until it's time to run again. And you hear that in neighborhoods as well. So throughout our community, you hear people say, oh, this is just talk because nothing ever changed. And then you don't ever see them until it's time to get our votes. So that's what I'm hearing.
Okay. Yeah. Crystal, you were saying something?
Something similar I was going to say to her. The same thing that Tiffany just said is that people feel taken advantage of, and they may not have seen the change that they expected under Barack Obama. And so that definitely creates a level of disengagement. Like, I did it before, nothing changed for me here in my community. Like, it didn't trickle down the way they anticipated it to trickle down. And so a lot of education still has to happen for folks.
And how important is it to make sure that these folks are educated?
It's of the utmost importance. Like, this is great that you vote for your president, but there's so many more important elections that you have to vote in. Like, voting for the president is great, but if you want to implement some of these policies, you got to vote for your governor. You got to vote for county council. Like, you got to vote for these folks. So that's
local.
Local. And how do you make that sell? How do you make the sell that I hear you, and I hear that you're tired, and I hear that candidate X didn't come back after we helped get him elected because it's only been him so far. How do you make that sell? How do you then turn around and tell them, but I really do need you to come out on February 29th?
I just tell them that the work is not done. Like, it's constant and it's continuous. You have to continue to vote and continue to stay engaged at the level that, you are able to as working class folks here in South Carolina.
We have to figure out a way to make the people in this country understand that we are this country. We make it up. And here in South Carolina in particular, we can decide. Our community, if we can figure this thing out and get on one page, we can decide every office, every seat, every time. And so it's kind of, how do we make that happen?